Hello guys, let me straighten out the camera. Wow, these things are never perfect. And I do that intentionally because I want you to know and see that like things don't have to be perfect in order to begin, in order to do them, in order to take the steps, in order to take the action. And so yeah, they're not perfect, but that's okay because we're here, we're showing up, we're doing the thing. So yeah, just diving straight into things for this time period. We are in between, so we are kind of through the eclipses, and we are now sort of coming up and approaching kind of this last sort of igniting that comes with those eclipses. Our Sagittarius full moon, the second one. The first one was an eclipse. This one is kind of, so we had a Sagittarius full moon eclipse, we had the Gemini solar eclipse, and then we are approaching the Sagittarius full moon eclipse kind of towards the end of the month. We have portals on the 16th, the 20th, the 28th. There's also another one in there somewhere. And we are back to portal series. I talk a lot about this on my Instagram, so if you are not familiar with what I'm talking about, you can head there and check it out. But basically we're in an integration period and an integration time. This is all about healing. This is all about slowing down. This is all about releasing the idea that you have to work and grind and do more. A lot of the times when people refer to doing the work, there's this like conditioned thought pattern within our brains that's like, oh, I gotta get to work, I gotta do more, I gotta do this. A lot of people have been slowed down in order to allow the body to integrate and process things accordingly. A lot of people are finishing up and wrapping up their ascension process. I've mentioned that too a couple of times, and basically what that is just the integrations of the body and stepping fully into the embodied state of the higher consciousness. This is requiring so many during this period and at this time to actually walk the talk. We got Commander Astra coming through, Pleiadian Council coming through really strongly, working with a lot of the collective's throat chakras, opening up to actually command in your desires and allowing those lower vibrational thought patterns and voices to kind of clear out. So you may be sensing sort of the limiting beliefs coming up really strongly, or being placed in situations that you've been in many times before with the same people, or maybe the same job, or similar situations that mirror those same experiences from the past, where you're finally being asked to say something, speak up, and really allow yourself to say just how you feel. Because if you haven't learned and integrated the lesson of showing up in your power and reclaiming that power, it's almost like you're kind of in this holding space where you can't really move forward until the old is closed out, and the old has to be closed out by demonstrating the new. So a lot of this has to do with our throat chakra. A lot of this has to do with like embodying now all of this higher consciousness that we've anchored into ourselves, and reclaiming a part of ourselves so that we can join back harmony within our own being. So a lot of people are entering into the masculine and the feminine unions at this time within, which is literally the ability to kind of intuitively receive and then take action. So for example, kind of like being in this similar situation with, let's say, a relationship where you've kind of ignored it in the past, of this person overstepping your boundaries, you not having your needs met, yet you've never communicated like, hey, I really need this in a relationship, out of fear that the relationship would end, fear that like, this person would get mad, fear of like making them uneasy, and it's appearing again, and you're like, oh crap, my intuition is just telling me like, this is bothering me, this is not right, I feel like this is a really imbalanced relationship. And instead of ignoring it, I'm gonna speak up, and I'm gonna finally express myself. And maybe that relationship ends because of you speaking up, and that's okay. But that is because people and situations, including jobs, including spaces of living, that are changing and rearranging at this time. When you show up as your full expansive self, those small spaces that kept you small, that you settled for, are gonna go and are gonna be purged. And that's what a lot of people are experiencing. So anchor into the knowing and the feeling within you, and trusting your intuition that there's more on the way, and don't fall back into those patterns of making yourself small in order to maintain and hang on to what has been, because that is what's holding a lot of you back. Again, remember, wow, if I could talk. There's just so much pouring through. I'm like trying to talk. I'm probably talking really fast, so forgive me. But yeah, it's almost like remember, respond from the higher space and place that you know rather than fear. And that's what's all coming up right now. This is all about healing, stepping through the illusions, stepping through the distortion, trusting your inner self, trusting the inner guidance of your soul and the wisdom of your heart, allowing it to be right, allowing yourself to trust yourself and love yourself for the first time fully, wholly, be anchored into that understanding. You are a wise, sentient being. The divine essence flows through you and to you, and you have that knowledge and wisdom for you. You don't need any external validation of that any longer. You don't need any external circumstances to shift, to change, to manifest in order to feel that. You are it, okay? You are everything that you've been waiting for. You are everything that you've been wanting to manifest. It's all inside of you. I know that's cheesy because everyone says it all of the time, but trust me, I'm a living example. It is. It's all inside of yourself. It's all inside of your heart. When you begin to connect with your inner self and being at the fullest and highest potential, it really, you don't care. You don't care if a friend moves out of your life. You don't care if, a job is removed from your life. You don't care if a relationship is removed from your life. And not in the sense that you don't care, you're not emotional about it, you don't allow yourself to grieve or to mourn that experience, but that you're not worried about something else coming in. A lot of the collective has been clinging to the same things and been reluctant to create the change and to follow the steps of change that their intuition has been guiding them to for years, out of fear that something better will not come, out of not trusting their own intuition and feeling that something better is there. So it's almost like we can't delay that any longer at this time, and everything is speeding up really quickly. Time is moving really quickly. The grids of Earth are moving really quickly. We have all of these portals that are opening. And when portals open, what that is, if you don't understand, it's not just like a date where we like receive a bunch of energy and a ton of energy. It's like the portal opens, and when that portal opens, it continues to open and expand throughout a certain space of time, and it brings in waves of new energy. What that does is we receive that energy gradually, and with so many happening at once, we're receiving. It's almost like a layer of upgrades, and what that's doing is helping to clear and release anything from the past. We got to close those doors. There's got to be closure. And there's a lot of people healing and needing to close out the karmic patterns of the parents at this time as well. So family, mom, dad healing, ancestral healing those patterns, coming to reconciliation within the home and family space, definitely needing to happen. And so all of those things are happening at this time, and this energy is going to be really carrying us and working with us throughout. It's 1:19 on the clock right now, 9:11. So we're closing out the old and opening to the new beginnings. A lot of people are like, yeah, okay, but haven't we been doing this the whole time? And it's like, yeah, but there's layers to this shit, guys. There's layers to this shit. If we were to just get bombarded with a ton of energy and upgrades, and people are like, man, I just want this to be over. And if that's you, you're missing the point. Where are you attached to the struggle of the process? Because this process doesn't have to be hard unless you make it hard. This process doesn't have to be a struggle unless you make it a struggle. And if you're struggling at this time, then I would ask yourself where you're still clinging to the past, where you're still clinging to your past identity, your past old job that maybe isn't aligning for you. There's a lot of people that say there's a lot of things happening to them in their workspace, a lot of drama going on in the workspace, and they're sticking out and they're waiting for the situation to resolve in order to show up. And it's like, would you, if you're in your power, would you leave your circumstances up to other people to determine whether you're going to stay or go? If you're being mistreated in your work environment, if you trusted everything to work out, you would leave. And so it's coming down to this kind of very kind of cutthroat energy of like, where are you still settling and expecting something to change, expecting something to happen, expecting the universe and your guides to come in and save you? No one's coming to save you. They are supporting you, but you have to take the action and realize, oh, I'm not going to actually settle for this any longer. Where are you still settling? Where are you still addicted and clinging to the old out of fear of the new not showing up? Where does unworthiness still come up? When this, in these situations of change and transformation, where does unworthiness still sort of come up for you in this time? And where are you sort of expecting other people to show up for you and you're not showing up for yourself? A lot of the times, the collective right now, I feel like a lot of the people that are going through a rough time, and it's not a bad thing, we all fall into this pattern of like waiting for the universe to guide us. But the universe is like taking the training wheels off and being like, you have all the power within you. You have all of the knowing within you. You've been integrated to a certain point. Now this is like the universe, mommy and daddy, pushing us off the ledge and having us fly on our own. So it's that time to actually take momentum and movement towards what we know isn't working, and to close those chapters so the new chapters can come open. Maybe we don't have exactly the clear idea of what those new doors look like, but you got to close the old ones to gain clarity. And that's what this time is about, is cutting through the illusions and healing, as well as like a deep cleansing and purge. There's also a big group of the collective that's reconnecting with their self, finalizing this, feeling really great, feeling really celebratory, and like feeling a new wave of creative energy, and you're being asked to really share that. And that's where a lot of us are kind of at right now, is being able to kind of being pushed to share our most authentic self, sharing our most creative self, no longer wearing the masks. That's another theme coming through really strongly for the collective at this time, is like, where are you still putting on a mask around other people? Where do you still feel the need to put on a mask in order to feel comfortable around other people? If you're still wearing a mask at your work, and I don't mean quite literally, but I mean metaphorically speaking, if you're still wearing a mask at work, if you're still coming in and acting and pretending to be someone you're not and making yourself small to fit in and not rock the boat, you know, maybe that's why your job's being removed from the picture. So it's almost like, ready or not, here the universe comes. All of the obstacles are being removed. We have a portal on 628 that is Horus, and there's also Lord Ganesh, and this is Krishna energy as well, where it's all about honoring the karmic repayment of the debt we've paid, to clear the karma, to serve us and reward us with new beginnings, new life, new energy, new creative inspiration, new doors opening for all of the challenges that we faced in ending these cycles and patterns. So that's coming up. So it's almost like this time is about, you know, maybe not so much like forward momentum and movement in the physical, not doing the things, not going here and doing this and doing this. If you have the energy, great, but I feel a lot of the people in the collective are moving through things, shifting on a physical level, and there's gonna be a lot of like feeling drained, feeling, you know, moody, and yeah, this is gonna continue. So it's not a rush, there's no rush, but it's just like, stop avoiding it. Stop self-sabotaging your own growth by, you know, asking for change and transformation, saying you're ready, and then when it comes, kind of going and hiding under your covers crying. So a little tough love for you guys today, but we are going to get into some original tarot. I love original tarot. I love the way that so many different people can read it and interpret it in different ways, shapes, and forms, just to kind of clarify and solidify what we are, what we are being asked to look into at a deeper level at this time, what we're being asked to release as a collective. And as always, it just solidifies everything. Whoa! And what is the collective being asked to step into? So is the collective being asked to embody? As always, it's just confirming. Wow. Yeah. And what can they expect now? Okay, let's get into it. I'm excited. Anyone else get really excited when they tap into things? It's like the gust of energy that you get when you connect with spirit. It's like there's nothing else quite like it. Not coffee, no drugs, no alcohol, but the gust of spirit gets me high. Okay. There's so much coming through already, so I'm just gonna kind of dive in. And again, it's just kind of mirroring what we've already talked about. But okay, the Emperor reversed. Where have you misplaced your power? You're being asked to release anything that has taken away your power from you. Release playing small. Release the idea that someone else is in charge of your life. Release the victim mentality. This is your life. You have creative control over what you bring to your life. Start taking responsibility for the situations and things that are appearing in your life now, because you have contributed to their creative upbringing. Okay, you have helped birth them. So if you don't like what you're seeing, how are you responding? Are you responding in the same ways, or are you choosing different responses that are going to give you a different reality? Are you responding from a place of this new reality and space and place that you are in this empowered state? Where have you been giving your power away? Where have you not been stepping up to the plate to take creative control of your life? If you do not open up your throat chakra and ask for what you need, ask for what you want, and your voice and what you say, how you speak to yourself and your mindset doesn't mirror the reality that you are trying to call into your life, you know, you can't complain. We also have the Knight of Cups reversed. You're being asked to release the idea that nothing's coming. There's so many people preoccupied right now with what's not coming, with what hasn't come, with what's not happened yet, with what's leaving their life, that all they're seeing is the negative. How can you flip your perspective? Because right now what I'm seeing is I'm getting a really strong visual of a bunch of people in the collective sort of looking at all of these doors that are closing, pulling on the closed doors, trying to open them back up, panicking, okay, falling into a depression like, oh, nothing's happening at this point. I've been waiting and I've been waiting and I've been waiting and nothing's happening. Nothing's helping me. Are my guides even listening? Is the universe even on my side? Do I even believe in the universe anymore? Do I even believe that there's guides assisting me and coming to help me out here? Because I don't feel it. I don't feel it at all. I feel like I'm alone. I feel like I am in resistance, and you are. Resistance is the opposite of flow, and when you're in opposition of where the universe is divinely trying to guide you, you're going to face that resistance time and time again. How can you let go of resistance and begin to turn around or see from a different perception and perspective in order to see what is working out for you, what is opening up for you? Because there are things opening up for you if you shift your perspective and your perception. And there is the Strength card reversed, and this is again tapping back into your power. Where have you neglected your power? This is so this would be Leo energy reversed, and we currently have Mars in Leo, and the moon, I believe, is still in Leo. So it's almost like, where have you left your confidence? Like, where have you lacked the confidence and the courage to actually go after what you want, to actually see that everything is being given to you, to see that the opportunities that are happening, all the shifts, all the changes that are occurring are happening for you in order for you to have what you want. But you have to step up. And if you're not in this space to receive it, you're not going to see it. You're not going to see it at all because you're too focused on what's not there, what's not happening. And so this is almost like reclaiming your power again, coming into the creative confidence of your being, stepping up into your creative power. Again, this is also all about creative energy. Leos are about creative energy. I feel like a lot of Leos are actually going through shifts and changes within their relationships, within their friends as well. And this can be leading to like, am I, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me that all these people are leaving my life? And fire energy is kind of going on these new journeys where things aren't moving forward as quickly as they want. Especially for fire energies, things aren't moving forward as quickly as they're used to. Things aren't happening as quickly as they want them to, but that's because they're really being asked to go within and face the deeper emotions that have prevented them from moving forward, so they can genuinely focus on themselves and not other people and the external realm, to really find this deep sense of happiness and strength within their heart. This is what the collective is also being asked to go through, but specifically getting many fire signs and Leo energy around that. There's also, it's almost like how can you show up and be the best advocate for yourself? How are you showing up for your friends? If you're showing up for your friends more than you're showing up for yourself, there's a problem. How do you talk to yourself? How can you support and love yourself and provide yourself with this strong foundation in times where you need it most? If you're negatively, it's so often we talk to our friends and we give them advice when they're going through hard things. We give them hugs, we take them out, we buy them gifts, or we buy them a coffee, or we Venmo them $15 so they can have a nice day when we know they're having a hard time. But like, we abandon ourselves. We straight up abandon ourselves when we're going through hard shit, and we start talking negatively to ourselves. Those negative thought patterns come in. What would happen if you actually provided yourself with the strength and the courage and the confidence that you would give to a friend going through a hard time? How can you show up and be your own friend during these times of transformation and change, and give yourself that love and that positive mindset to move through this, because that's your strength. This is also about recollecting a lot of authentic strengths, gifts. Authentic blueprints are going to be integrating into the spectrum and sphere, believe next week, with a portal next week. So again, check Instagram for all of that info in depth. The timeline's on there. But yeah, this is all about reclaiming your unique creative expression, tapping into the authentic blueprints of your soul before all of the conditioning and before you were taught and told how to operate. Your strengths lie in your triggers, because those are the ability to understand what you came here to learn, as well as the foundation of yourself is being rebuilt in order to provide yourself. It's almost like not being rebuilt, but returning to its natural state. It's resetting. A lot of people, their energy is resetting. So you could find that you're returning to like a childlike state, childlike wonder. This is also about being able to play in the void space. Where are you neglecting play? Where are you neglecting creative energy? Where are you neglecting the basics of life? Where have you abandoned that? So that's coming through really strongly. And then we have the 9 of Swords. And this is all about regret. There's so many people stuck in their head. You're being asked to release all of the regret, all of the shame, all of the like, I could have done this, I should have done this, I wish this would have worked out. There's a lot of people like reaching this like almost like life crises point where they're like, the life is flashing before their eyes and like, oh my gosh, I'm reaching this point and I should have done this differently. Why did I do this? Why did I fall for this? There's a lot of people also falling into old patterns and cycles and regretting it and holding themselves into a state of judgment and lack mentality for this. And again, with the Star card reverse, it's like, it's almost like being in a state of regret, remorse, seeing in a negative light, seeing in a negative view. This is also like depressive state. This is also like not doing anything, feeling hopeless, victim mentality, victimhood, and not seeing that you do have the strength and the power and the offerings available to you. It's like the clouded judgment that comes with the past and the past emotions resurfacing. And with the Star card reverse, there's a lot of past emotions resurfacing, a lot of past emotions that are being asked to be released and healed and let go of. This is also almost like the lack of seeing what's ahead, the lack of the abundance, and the lack that there's always enough. It's almost like lack mindset, lack mentality is being asked to be released and purged, because a lot of people are clinging to the old things, and not seeing the abundance of the new that's pouring in, that's coming in. And this is also talking about old emotions, releasing the old emotions, releasing the old energies, and moving forward, knowing that like your options aren't limited. There's a lot of people that are seeing missed opportunities of the past and thinking those are their only opportunities, and that they only have so much available to them, and they messed up this and this in the past, and they can't, it's like, those are my only options. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Where am I gonna go? How is this gonna work out? What happens now? And it's almost like, expand your point of view, release these limited points of views so that you can really step into your power and see yourself clearly. And that's kind of this first card here of what we're stepping into. So that was what we were releasing, and this is what we're stepping into. So we're being able to, after we move through all of that, we're really being able to step into this space of like no longer holding ourselves in small spaces and places, no longer keeping ourselves small, no longer restricting and constricting ourselves, and allowing ourselves to expand to the full expression of our being. We're able to really allow ourselves to see the full throttle abundance that comes with our authentic expression, and the ways in which we are naturally inclined to. Abundance is our natural state. Okay, abundance is our natural state. So when you move through all that crap and release it all, you're able to step back into that natural abundant state. Things are allowed to flow more smoothly. And again, we're stepping into the flow. We're stepping into the natural rhythm and patterns and movements of life, where you're releasing that resistance and you're allowed to step into receiving mode, where then you can actually receive the action steps and forward momentum to move forward. And this is what this is all about, is moving forward, new messages, new inspiration, new ideals. And then we also have the Knight of Wands and Queen of Wands here with the Wands energy. So there's like new communication, new energies coming through. And two, when you release all of the past, there's new forward momentum and movement, as well as communicating. So it's almost like stepping up to be the divine communicator of your life, being able to design your life from a space of youthfulness and wisdom, being able to apply the knowledge and experience that you've learned to your life to create something anew. And there is forward movement and trajectory on the way. There's new opportunities, new connections, as well as like moves, like lots of moves happening. And there's also Gemini energy coming in really strongly. Again, Leo energy coming in really strongly. Sagittarius energy coming really strongly. But this is a big time for you guys. I mean, it's a big time for everybody, but those are the specific signs that are coming through. We also got Libra energy coming in really strongly, Aries energy coming in really strongly. Anyways, so this is about new ideas, new creative inspiration, sharing those gifts with other people, beginning to connect with other people. So you're going to be connecting with, once you release the past, release the old relationships, release the old victim mentality, you're going to be connecting with new soul family, as well as new spaces and places within yourself that allow you to feel this divine connection and communication within you, this intuitive understanding within yourself. There's a divine communication that's happening within you all of the time. Your body is way more intelligent than you think it is. And when we harmonize all communication between all spectrums, we're able to move forward with greater ease, with greater flow, with greater abundance, where things just naturally happen for us and things naturally work out. You know those people who things always just work out for them? They like are always happy, or they appear to be always happy, and even when they're nervous or a little bit upset, it's like things still always work out for them. That's where we're heading, okay? Everyone's supposed to be living life like that. Then we also have the Justice card, and so this is bringing balance and harmony between the ether and the earth state. So your human self and your spiritual self are integrating into, and that's where we have the Knight of Wands and the Queen of Wands kind of coming through. The divine masculine is still moving through some healing. The divine feminine has reached her point of like poignancy, like reached her completion point for a lot of divine feminine energies. And again, this is all within us individually. Everyone has divine feminine, divine masculine energy. She's reached a completion point. The divine masculine is following and following up and reaching his standpoint as well right now. So he's kind of moving along here. He can feel frustrated that things aren't moving, and like overworking, overdoing, over assertive, and that he's being asked to release that to bring things into a balance. And when we're releasing that, we're coming into a balanced state. We understand the even flow of spirit working for us and us doing the effort, a co-creative experience of harmony and unison when we're able to work with spirit, with the earth as a means of creating our desires that are best and in sync with all grids of earth and synced up to all things. There's a lot of timeline shifting, changing, and rearranging at this time. Choose the highest timeline. Don't choose the next step. Choose what's coming next. Allow yourself to imagine. Allow yourself to fall into creative energy. Allow yourself to have balance between realistic approaches, logical approaches, etc., that divine masculine energy, and your more intuitive, spiritual, creative, imaginative self, because science, art, Age of Aquarius, that's what this time is about. That's where we're reaching. Then we have Knight of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles. So with this, what you're stepping into is there's a lot of abundance, a lot of new opportunities, a lot of things that have been building in momentum behind the scenes with these new grids, with these new soul contracts regenerating, with soul blueprints regenerating, with timelines regenerating and clearing. There's a lot of abundance that's just kind of been like chilling, waiting for all the things to clear in order to reach you. When you clear all of that and you release all of it out of the way, there is, again, these new opportunities, these new connections, these new beginnings that are opening up to you, and the infinite state of abundance that you naturally are. And that is, you're able to see that, you're able to recognize that, and you're able to fall into this flow, natural state of abundance where everything's just received, like everything is received for you and to you, and you're falling into the flow of life and the rhythm and the pattern of life. You're in sync with your emotions, you're in sync with your logic, you're in sync with your intuition, you're in sync all around, you're in total alignment, and that's when abundance can really reach you. So it can be feeling like this has been a long, steady, and slow process, but in order to, it's almost like this is long-term abundance, this is lasting abundance, this is stability, this is foundational, this is stable. A lot of the times people have something happen to them, they manifest things, it happens, it's done, it's over, and then they're like, oh, what's next? This is more stable abundance, this is more stable manifestation, this is more stability and consistency. This is about showing up consistently, things showing up consistently in your life, in the flow, constantly moving forward, constantly having a greater sense of momentum in your life, of things appearing for you in the flow of things, because they are in alignment with your authentic self, because you're no longer keeping yourself small. So this is about stability, consistency, and receiving, opening up to receive the abundance that's been building in momentum for you. So there is this kind of like big, beautiful, there's things coming, guys, but you have to believe it. You have to clear all the beliefs out of your head that say they're not, and you're not worthy, and you're not deserving, in order to step through the illusions, to step through the veil and allow yourself to see the good. And it gets hard sometimes. This just doesn't mean, it's all light and love all of the time, but it's like you have a choice. Even when you feel shitty, you can acknowledge why you're feeling shitty, give yourself 15-20 minutes to feel into that, understand where it's coming from, and then release it and let it go and be like, you know what? I have no choice. I can either feel shitty my whole entire day and drag this on for days and months and whatever, or I can take back my power and fall into the flow and be like, okay, I released this. I allowed myself to feel it. I allowed myself to cry. I allowed myself to punch my pillow, whatever is needed. I allowed myself to journal and get it all out and release it. And take in the space. That's what a lot of people are needing to do, is just take the space to feel into whatever is needing to purge and release, rather than avoiding it, so that it can release fully and finally, and you can step forward into this. And when we do that, it's like we have that choice then to be like, okay, it's done and it's over with. I don't need to drag it on forever. Let's go. Let's move on to something else. Turn on a good song and have a good day. And it's like, how can you use the power of alchemy right now? How well can you alchemize your situation? How well can you alchemize your mood? How well can you tap into the spiritual knowing that you've acquired? There's so many people out there that would give so much advice to other people about, oh, the universe has always got your back, your guides always got you, like everything will always work out. But then when it comes to them in their life, they're like, shit, what's happening? And they start panicking and going into stress mode. And there's a lot of people in the collective right now that are doing that. So walk your freaking talk, show the heck up for yourself, stop abandoning yourself. You are here to create stability and long-term success, long-term flow, long-term abundance in your life. You are worthy of that. Abundance is your natural state. Stop self-sabotaging yourself. Stop falling back into old patterns and cycles. If you're wanting to grow and expand at this time, then ask yourself where you're keeping yourself small and stuck in old mindsets and patterns, where you're reverting back to them whenever anything changes in your external reality, because that's going to show you directly where your power has been going and where you're needing to work on it to reclaim it at this time. I love you, and I'll see you guys next time.